Okay, in today's lesson we went through the worked example where we had a baker making 12 cupcakes using 100 grams of sugar and 180 grams of self-raising flour. And we did this as an extended problem-solving question with the idea that we would apply our knowledge from previous lessons to this one to then move into proportions. So with a problem-solving question, there's actually no right or wrong way to answer these questions. So the solutions that I provide here are just one way of answering these questions, and you may have done it differently, and that's okay, as long as you show you're working out. So these sorts of problems that we're working out is incredibly important. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight key pieces of information. So the 12 cupcakes, the 100 grams of sugar and the 180 grams of flour are the important parts of the question. And given that we've been using ratios at the moment, I'm going to express these as a ratio. And the ratio I'm going to express it as is I'm going to put it all together in one, so that I have 12 to 100 to 180. The next part of the question that I look at is how much flour and sugar, so that's a key point there, which you need for 240, and then the next part of that question is asking for 1,000. So I'm going to solve those two separately. In class we did it all together and I think it confused a few people, so we'll try it separately and see if this helps you understand it a little bit better. So the first one I'm going to do is the 240. Now, a number of you recognised in class that 240 is just 24 times by 10. And we know that 12 goes into 24. So if we add a 0 to the end of the 2, we know that we multiply the 12 by 20 to get the number of cupcakes there. Another way of showing our working out for that, to make sure that we do get full marks, would be to say 240 divided by 12 equals 20. Now remember, of course, you can use your calculator for these problems. I'm just going to rub that 0 out so it's a little bit clearer. Which means this value here is going to be our important one when it comes to modifying our sugar and our flour. So the first thing we're going to do is find out how much sugar we need. So make sure you make it clear in terms of what you're trying to find. So we're going to take 100 grams and multiply it by 20, which gives us 2,000 grams of sugar. Now you could change it into kilograms if you wanted to, but that makes life a little confusing, so we might just leave that one alone for now. Next I'm going to do the flour, and it's 180 times by 20. Now this one's a little bit more tricky because it's not as easy to do in our head, but remember to use your calculator. One of the things I know is that 18 times by 2 is 36. And I have 2 zeros, so I'm going to put that afterwards. And again, it's grams. We must remember to put our units into our problems, because otherwise we lose easy marks throughout the question. We haven't actually finished the question yet, because it says how much. So we need to probably put our answer into a worded form. So to make 240 cupcakes, the baker will need 2,000 grams of sugar and 3,600 grams of flour. We repeat the process with our 1,000. Now the 1,000 is a little bit more tricky because 12 doesn't go into it easily. Now I haven't left myself enough room, so I'm just going to block it off so that we know that that's the first part of the problem. and then I'm going to do the next part. So we're now trying to make, from our same ratio of 12 to 100 to 180, we're going to change this to 1000, and we need to find out what we're going to do there. In order to work out how many times 12, how much we have to multiply it by, we have to work out what we've done to the 12 to make it 1000. So we do a division, which gives us 83.33 recurring. So what we do here is we multiply our 100 and our 180 by 83.33. One of the things that's important to remember with this is probably to just keep it stored on your calculator and to not go in and try and round too soon, because what can happen then is that your results become a little bit skewed, particularly as you get older. So if we multiply 100 by 83.33, we get 8,333. And if we multiply 180 by 83.33, we get 15,000. Again, we need to make sure that our answer is in worded form, as the question is in worded form. So we would say, to summarize our answer and to make sure that the person marking actually understands that you have understood the problem, you write to make 1,000 cupcakes, 8,333 grams of sugar, and 15,000 grams of flour are required. Remember that as long as you have shown your working out and gotten the same answers, you will get full marks. If you were to, however, show your working out and say round at this point here, and just have it as 83 so that your answer becomes 8,300 instead of 8,333, you'd get part marks. So you might lose half a mark on a 3-mark question for that sort of mistake.